Hello everyone, my name is Dr.Mitali, and today we all are going to talk about boredom and laziness. When you are on a fitness regime, sometimes it's very easy to feel bored and lazy, and getting up in the morning can be a very big challenge. Often people would call us lazy, they would call us a coach potato, and we also might feel demotivated to go ahead and do what we actually had planned or started out to begin. It is a common experience with most of us. We join a training program, we join a fitness program, we join a gym or a fitness activity, and then after some days, we do not continue with it, or it becomes a boredom to continue doing the same thing. So, today I am going to talk about laziness and boredom with all of y'all. What exactly is laziness? Well, doing something which you never ever intended to do in the first place is called as laziness. Just because your heart does not belong into that activity anymore, you are trying your best to postpone that activity. Same, you must have experienced this many times, haven't you? If you're waiting to meet a dear friend of yours, you keep looking at the watch all the time. Why do we do that? Because we want time to go faster. We want that activity to happen as early as possible so that we can get to meet our friend. But at the same time, if there's a lecture which is boring, we are still looking at the watch. But why are we doing that? We are wondering how long will this lecture go? Because it is something that we never wanted to do in the first place. So first and foremost, the most important thing is decide, are you in an activity that you really wanted to do? Is it an activity which you wanted in the first place, or are you just pushing yourself into it? I can share my own example. When it comes to cycling, swimming, and running, my favorite activities are swimming and cycling, and I'm ready to spend hours together into it and practicing for it. But at the same time, if I have to run, I am very happy to finish my 10-kilometer run and call it a day. And I'm happy with doing that much. Well, so what is boredom? Boredom is actually those exact mental traits or character personalities which support laziness. It could be inability to focus. It could be lack of concentration. It could be too much of mental activity are not allowing you to be present in doing what you are doing. It could be that loss of energy or weakness at the level of the body also, which could cause boredom. That brings us to the conditions or causes of laziness or boredom. First and foremost, let us go look at the medical causes. The medical causes of boredom are thyroid disorders, anemia, nutritional deficiencies, diabetes, irritable bowel syndrome. So many other medical conditions could lead to weakness, fatigue, tiredness, lack of strength, and therefore might present in the form of boredom. But what is actually happening is that the body is lacking energy. Correcting these medical conditions or these deficiencies is very important rather than just hiding behind the label of boredom or laziness. Similarly, there are certain mental conditions which could trigger this problem. Sleeplessness or loss of sleep, in fact, is one of the major cause for boredom or laziness. You're not able to sleep during the night, and then the whole day goes into laziness and boredom because the mind and body is not rested enough. Learning disabilities, anxiety disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, bipolar disorders could be some mental conditions which could come forward as boredom or laziness. Depression leading to lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem could also result into boredom. So first and foremost, ensure and find out whether you are suffering from any such mental or physical illnesses and get them corrected. Well, and having said that, some of us may not even suffer from any of these problems, and yet everyday life could become a drudgery. How to overcome that? Let me share you some very quick tips. The first and the most important tip that I would like to share with you all is set a goal. Learn to make personal goals and learn to make larger than life goals. When you set a goal, it keeps us motivated to moving towards the goal. But how to set a goal is equally important. Make sure that you set small goals. Maybe if you're planning to lose a weight and you have a target of about 10 to 20 kg, don't look at the chunk of 10 to 20 kg. Plan to lose just half a kg in the next 1 week, or just 1 kg for 1 month, or even lesser. Bite only that much that you can chew. And that way, the motivation remains, it helps you to be on track and the motivation remains going. Seeing that small half a kg shift on the scale and acknowledging that shift helps us to remain motivated and helps us to keep moving ahead and overcomes boredom and laziness to do certain things. The second important tip is the golden hour. How many of y'all have noticed that we all have an important time of our day when our body is at its absolute gusto and full of energy and wanting to do what it wants to do? Yes, for me, my golden hours for many years have been the morning hours. When I get up in the morning, I am rested, I am fresh, I am full of energy, and that's the time, whether it comes to physical work, exercise, mental work, I can get it done at the best. For some people, this golden hour could be in the afternoons. For some, it could be late nights. Understand what is your most productive hour and try and planning to do the toughest tasks during that hour. You will find that you get the task done, and that once again helps you to remain activated, helps you to remain channelized in doing the activity rather than giving up on that activity. The third and the most important thing is adding a little bit of discipline into your life. And by discipline, I mean eating at the right time, sleeping at the right time, doing things when they are meant to happen. If you're going to stay late in the night, it is not possible to get up fresh. I remember a friend of mine who had a rule that nobody is awake after 10:30. The whole house sleeps at 10:30, no matter what. And everybody follows that rule. They get up in the morning at 5. And this sort of a discipline has helped them achieve great inroads into their professional life. Students in the house have been able to achieve great inroads in their school life and also in their physical health and fitness. So add a little bit of discipline into your life. I know it may not be possible to stick to your discipline, and sometimes following discipline also could become difficult because of laziness or boredom. Well, same rule. Take small chunks of detail. Don't try and discipline your whole life at a time. Just take one small thing. Choose one shift at one time. If you decide that I'm going to change my sleep time, ensure that you continue to do this for the next 21 to 40 days. Once that change has happened permanently, now choose to make the next change. Maybe change your meal times. So, doing smaller things in smaller targets and appreciating yourself for the shifts that you have made helps us to remain away from boredom. That brings me to the next tip. Learn to appreciate yourself. Pat your back. That is what I always say. Come on, I want all of you to lift your hand and give yourself a nice pat. I'm sure you will find at least one reason to do that. Appreciating yourself and recognizing your efforts for small things that you do is one of the most important ways of keeping yourself motivated, keeping yourself inspired, and not getting bored at all. Rather than looking to somebody else for inspiration, your own life is one of the biggest inspiration. Look for small details. Keep a record of yourself. Do journaling. Those small shifts that you make in your life, if you start recording them, you will realize that over a longer period, you have made lots of changes. You have reached and achieved lots of milestones. And therefore, journaling and keeping records of the small tiny progresses that you do is very important, and recognizing those and learning to give you a pat on your back. That is my yet another very important tip for all of you. the next and the most important technique, and that is rest. It's okay to feel bored or lazy sometimes. It's okay to do nothing but just lie down on the floor, looking up at the sky, counting the clouds. Be easy with yourself. Sometimes it's okay to be bored or lazy and not want to do what you have targeted. Punishing yourself, being harsh with yourself, reprimanding yourself only demeans and demoralizes the inner child, the younger you, the inner self. So sometimes learn to be easy with yourself and just accept, open with this acceptance that I don't want to do this today. Be easy on yourself. So these are some of my very, very important tips to overcome boredom and laziness. I hope this helps all of you in your fitness and keeps you on track. This is Dr. Mitali for you for Get That Fit Feeling. Continue on your fitness journey with your amazing mentors and do feel free to reach out to me whenever you need me. Bye bye, take care and namaste.